Okay, so we didn't have too many problems. I cut off a lot of this, partly because we skipped some of the the chapter. Um, and then this diagram for number 12, they didn't put the coordinates on the axes, but that was the idea, locating using coordinates. And you could use the slope triangle to get the slopes. We'll go over that in a second. Okay, so for this first one, x and 61 are vertical angles. 61 and y are, oh, no, that's not the wrong, that is not the homework solutions for y'all. And then 61 and y are corresponding. Let me get the homework solutions for y'all. I think this is it. Yeah, okay. Okay, now you want to state which type of angles they are. So that was what the instructions did request. All right, and then here, alternate interior angles. So you can solve for y. And then once you get the value of y, you can use vertical angles to solve for 8x, right? So okay, and then here we can use alternate interior angles to solve for x, and then to solve for y, we can use consecutive interior, right? And remember, consecutive interior means supplementary, so you add the two angles to equal 180. All right, and then here, in order for this to be parallel, the m and n, x and 97 are corresponding, so they're going to have to be congruent. Whereas for 7, in order for m and n to be parallel, the alternate exterior, notice those are alternate exterior angles, have to be congruent. Okay, so that's what's going on here. And now for number 8, these type of angles, there's no name for them. So what we do is we use the vertical angle of the 11x plus 33, and then we have consecutive interior that we compare with the 6x minus 16. Okay, so that's how that went about. The vertical angle is consecutive interior with the 6x minus 6, so the vertical angle right here. Right, you could also think of the vertical angle of the 6x minus 6 here, which if you do it that way, then you have consecutive exterior. So however you get it, you're going to wind up dealing with consecutive. Okay, and then here, this is just a matter of determining the equations. So remember, the perpendicular slope is the opposite reciprocal. And then when we had the perpendicular bisector, we have to get the slope first, and then use that slope to get the opposite reciprocal, in addition to getting the midpoint. Okay, so number 9 and 10. All right, now the thing with 12 is that they told you that each unit is worth 50. Now, I would just use the coordinates based upon integers and not worry about whether the coordinate here at the intersection, it's 3, 4, which would be multiplied by 50 if you wanted to convert the yards, but you don't need to worry about that. So we only need to worry about the units at the very end when we do the part D problem, because that was actually asking us for the distance. Okay, so you can just use the coordinates that they have here. So you notice the Q line, we're going down 3 and to the right 1. And for the P line, we're going over 3, right 3, and up 1. So you can get the slopes just by inspection. Okay, and then I just picked the intersection point for line A as what to put in the point slope form. Okay, and then for part B, you could use the y-intercept, which right there would be 3. And so that's what I did. Okay, and then we don't have to do anything fancy to find the meeting point. We can see it. It's right there. All right, and then to find the distance between the intersection and the subway, I went ahead and labeled the 2 coordinates. And I made a little right triangle, and I just used the Pythagorean theorem. Right, now, if you wanted to use the distance formula, you could do that. But I just thought the Pythagorean theorem was easier. And so looks like I switched the 6 and the 2. I should have put the 6 on the bottom and the 2 on the right. I'm seeing that now. I didn't catch that earlier, so I did a dyslexia. But it's not a big deal because it's still going to be the same numbers in the equation. So now once you get to the square root of 40, multiply that by 50 to get the distance. This is where you want to deal with the units and convert to 50 yards. So you can just do that here at the end. That's a lot easier to do. And you might remember we had a problem like that where I think the units were 8 feet.